Introducing your playoff-bound Houston Texans.
Texas tatted on my arm, got Houston on my back, 'cause I love the city I'm from. Hands up if you feel that. I ball hard like a Texan. Every Sunday you catch me wrecking, belly fast to the intersections.
What y'all know about those Houston Texans, boy?
It sounds a lot better than the Cougars one he did.
Coming from the Rice grad.
And that one fell flat.
Welcome back to Sports Rap Live. Let that ride for a minute. I'll talk over it. I'll talk over Thugger. What? Not really.
He's got a big belt buckle.
He sure does. He sure does. And a cowboy hat. I've seen Thugger wear a cowboy hat. That's something else. Welcome back to Sports Rap Live, everybody. It's time to open up the Rapp Sheet, of course, brought to you by Silverleaf International, where you can get that ghost pepper burn if you want it.
That hot fire.
That's right. That's right, man. SilverleafInternational.com. If you want to go and check out all their great products, they've got a lot of salsas. They've got some great marinated garlics, blue cheese stuffed olives.
If you want the burn, that's where you get the burn.
Right here. This is your jar, by the way.
I will take it to work.
It's going home with you tonight.
I will take that to work.
All right, well let's get right into it. When
that'll be very comical.
At work. Well, they're in a model home, so if you go blow out in the model home bathroom,
somebody gonna go.
We got two bathrooms for a reason out there.
Yeah, somebody can go ham in one of them.
Oh
yeah.
Sure.
We got the wheelchair.
It might be ham, all right.
We got the wheelchair bathroom for a reason.
Oh,
you're gonna need it.
Extra space.
Yeah.
Spread out a little bit. All right, man. Well, it's playoff time in Houston for the first time in almost 2 decades. And the Texans finished the season. Looked like they really wanted to be in the playoffs, didn't they?
Who did they start, though? They didn't start Arian. They didn't start Owen Daniels. I mean, as soon as they got Yates in there and he got a little dinged up, they pulled him out. I mean, it really wasn't their best. We were trying to win. They had the number 3 seed locked up. What did they have to play for?
They had to play for 2 points to win that game.
I'll tell you this much. If someone had gotten a serious player, a serious starter had gotten hurt in that game, we would be having a different conversation right now. It would be, why do we have so-and-so in? What is Kubiak doing with, let's just say it's an offensive lineman. What is Dwayne Brown doing getting hurt? I mean, do you want to have that conversation?
Here's my philosophy on it. All right, when TJ got dinged a little bit, I mean, it wasn't really a game-threatening injury, right? I mean, Gary Kubiak purposely took him out of the game to see what he had with Delhomme, just in case he needs to put that little leash on TJ.
And we know we have Delhomme. We have video footage of Delhomme's last playoff game. He's damaged goods. He's clearly damaged goods. I'm not trying to say anything bad. I hope he gives a lot of mentorship, but he shouldn't say, hey, do it like I did it, because we know how you did it. You got to 1 Super Bowl, and after that, it just dropped
Ironically,
dropped
which
off.
was in Reliant Stadium.
Yeah, it didn't dropped off after that.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
If Delhomme plays in this game this weekend, I hope you bet on the Bengals to cover.
Yeah. Well, and I think TJ Yates, he's got to have the confidence going into this game, but more than anything, this defense has got to have some confidence that they can stop the Bengals, which we were talking about earlier, without a left tackle, their running game being slowed, and Andy Dalton being a rookie quarterback.
And how do you get that confidence back? It's all on their defensive coordinator. They lost a lot of their mojo, Adam, whenever they lost Wade Phillips. Seriously, they really did. They weren't able to run. I'm not sure if he was calling different. The coordinator that stepped in was calling different plays, but it was clearly visible they didn't have the same pep. They weren't as motivated. They didn't seem like they had that edge, to where we're going to take the game over and make it ours and let the offense do their thing. So I think with Wade Phillips back, it's going to be a different team. It's going to be back to the team we saw for the majority of the season.
Well, if you're Cubes, you like how I call them Cubes? You like that?
Not really.
Okay. If you're Kubiak, what's your approach this weekend? Do you put the short leash on him, or do you just let TJ Yates ride it out?
You can't put the short leash, because you know where the short leash leads to? Jake Delhomme. That's where it leads to. Because if you say, okay, Yates, the first mistake you make, I'm pulling you. You want to go back to Delhomme? Delhomme against a Titans team who didn't even show up to play looked borderline terrible. I mean, he had a lot of passes which just sailed on him. If you're going to throw it away, I understand you're throwing it away. But you had passes just sailed on him.
I mean, why would you short leash it? And you only got 1 game. I mean, you might as well try to get as much value for the guy as possible, just to see what that guy can do.
Hey, this is the girl you brought to the party?
Yeah,
Dance
exactly.
with her. Dance with her,
Well, then who was Jake Delhomme last Sunday?
There's no words to say where he was. I mean, it's pretty much clear that he is.
Is he the chick you sneak off to the bathroom with when you come back and dance with the same girl in the playoffs?
No, I don't even want to go into those metaphors because that'll lead us into the dump button.
Yeah.
But No, I mean, you don't want to go to Loam. You have to ride with Yates. You have to ride with Yates because he's the guy that brought you here. You have to stick with him.
All right, well, what are your thoughts on this Bengals defense? Because this Bengals defense has been talked about almost as much as Andy Dalton this season as a surprise.
They're good, but they're not great. I mean, they can obviously be had. The Texans are able to get points on them. The thing is this is going to be one of those, styles make fights, styles make matchups. These are two very close teams. I think it's going to be a dogfight the whole way. I think the Texans' offense is much better than the Cincinnati Bengals' offense. But as far as the Cincinnati Bengals' defense, I mean, they were able to pretty much keep, Tate had one run, but Arian Foster really didn't have a good game. I'm looking for this Texans' offense to dictate because the Bengals' defense is going to keep them in games. The Bengals really aren't going to give you 31 points. They're not going to give up a ton of points. You also have to factor, though, they're a different defense after Leon Hall left. I mean, they lost Jonathan Joseph. That's one thing in the offseason. But when Leon Hall left, they have totally had to adapt to a different type of secondary. So I'm not sure how much faith they have in that secondary.
Gons, who you got? Bengals, Texans.
I got Texans.
Close game, or you think they take care of business?
I think it's close.
Close game. Comes out with Neil Rackers.
I hope not. I really don't. But
so they get Chris Brown on the horn.
I think the biggest thing is home field advantage. This is what we've worked. So the team has worked all season for.
I would say 21-17.
Warren Sapp on Inside the NFL talked about how there's a dynamite stick in Houston and we just need to light the fuse. It's totally true. If they get a lead in this game, that crowd is going to be 100% behind them.
And we're not, the fans,
the
of
fans
course.
are going to go crazy.
I mean, the number one Texan fan is here on a weekly basis, Bun B. I mean, it's not getting any bigger than that, putting it down. And
this team, though, has to play with a lead. If they play with a lead, they can maintain that lead and build on it through the defense and running the ball. But if they have to come back and try and get Andre, and now we're trying to go to him, now we're trying to go Jacoby Jones, I don't see it.
One-word answer. Who you got? Bengals, Texans?
I got Cincinnati.
Okay.
I got the Texans, and the reason I have the Texans is because this Bengals team, when put against the wall, I mean, I understand the playoffs is a whole different thing, but you are who you are at this point, and this Bengals team has won maybe one game against a team with a over 500 record.
Right. That's a great stat.
Every time they've had to win a big game, they haven't. They folded. And it's just because they haven't gotten over that step. It's a rookie QB, just like us, but it's also a rookie wide receiver. I just don't see a complete team there, Adam.
I'll take the Texans in a close one like Gons as well.
Because
we got to talk Texans next week on 790. Come on.
I also got Jerome Simpson giving us maybe a 9.0. He gave us a 10.0 on a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure if Jerome Simpson has another 10.0 in him on the celebration factor.
That's true. That's
have you been following Arian Foster? He's talking about how he's going to do a Hakeem-themed celebration.
I hope so. The Dream Shake?
The Dream Shake. He's going to do a Dream Shake.
I would love to see that. I'd love to see that. All right, hey, real quick. We talked about home field advantage for the Texans. How about the New Orleans Saints and their home field advantage? Third straight home game. They're going to face off against Detroit in the Big Easy in what really could be a shootout.
That's going to be a good game.
We wouldn't think of it as being a shootout, but Matthew Stafford and that offense have been almost as prolific as the New Orleans Saints.
Passing the ball, not running the ball.
That's what I mean.
The biggest difference in these two teams is the Saints can run the ball. Ingram might be hurt. They still have Chris Ivory. And they still have Pierre Thomas. They can run the ball. That is the difference between them and almost every other NFC team that's in there, is they have an offense that can run the ball.
Guess what Detroit has that New Orleans does not have?
Megatron?
Well, that's a great point. Guess what New Orleans has that Detroit doesn't have?
What?
Drew Brees.
True.
The all-time passing leader for a single season as he breaks.
running game.
Exactly.
The Lions can't run the ball, though.
And Darren Sproles.
I'm saying the Saints. I'm saying the Saints have an actual running game.
Sproles is a game changer.
He's an X factor. He's an X factor.
I know that's your boy too, so I know you're happy for him.
Hey, you already know. He's
a factor in the return game. He's a factor in the passing game, the run game. I mean, he can do it all.
He's what they wanted Reggie Bush to be from the jump.
Right, and they're also going to have Lance Moore. I'm not sure he's going to play in this game. He's pretty nicked up. That Saints offensive line, you really can't say enough about them. Nobody people. It's kind of like the Texans offensive line. Nobody really knows the names. You heard about Gerard Bushrod, this guy here and there. That Saints offensive line, though, is incredible.
Absolutely. So I look forward to that matchup as well. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the other side of the break when we have a special guest on the phone. Luis, get ready. Get ready. We're going to dial him up right now.
Ready.
And when we come back, we're going to get into the Rapp Sheet some more, talking about the NFC playoffs and those New York football Giants. So you guys stick around. We'll be right back on Sports Wrap Live.